was a dream of Sandrea and Cheo, Dr. Torres, and myself. We just would talk about how great it would be to actually have a UNM course on curanderismo. And Dr. Torres and Sandrea made it happen, and I became one of the instructors right from the beginning. It was wonderful to have an actual accredited course, and then to bring curanderos from Mexico, and to invite curanderos from the local area to be able to look at to compare differences and similarities. It just turned out to be an incredible course. I look forward to it every year.
Where we bring people that are actually doing the things that we're reading about, both from the U.S. and from Mexico, because the first part of the course are U.S. healers and anthropologists, medical anthropologists that are studying this. The second week, we bring the actual healers that are from Mexico that have been doing this for centuries. By that I mean their forefathers, their fathers. And they, there hasn't been an interruption with some of these curanderos in their past tradition and heritage. It's mother to daughter to son and on and on. It's a goodwill course, if you will, where you're bringing two countries together to talk about some positive things. Well, the course has been developing for the last 10 years. Every year it gets better. This year has been one of the best years, the 10th year.
Thank you so much for everybody being here, because this is the largest class we've ever had.
And I'm really hoping that it will continue to affect people in real positive ways, that they'll continue to get those wonderful moments of aha and of healing that they need to, so that they can go out and spread that, share that with family members and with friends.
And going back to the medicina, that is what works. What works best for you, that's what works, and that's the medicina. You know, it could be a prayer in the morning, it could be just looking at the sky and admiring how beautiful it is.
And I think the students' comments are an indication of the success of this course.
Of the cultural mestizaje. Sincretismo cultural, that means a combination of two or more cultures in one celebration, in one activity. We have indigenous blood and also Spanish blood in our body. Yeah, we have Spanish. Well, nobody's perfect. But
now I come every year to teach this session of Day of the Dead at this wonderful class. I think this class is very important, not only for the community in Mexico. It is important for, well, humanity, in which we can go to the basics in terms, not only in traditional medicine, as well in traditions for people, culture. And we have to go back to basics, we have to go back to nature in order to recognize us as this part of the circle of nature, and discover and realize how we can heal ourselves with the help of the nature.
What's interesting is some students indicate that it's changed their lives.
I don't know, I came into this class kind of just open-minded, and I realized a lot of stuff about myself that I was really closed off to a lot of people. It's kind of hard, just what this class does to you. I mean, it really made me realize a lot of things that I need to kind of see about myself.
That's quite a comment, that they have changed their lifestyles, that they are leading a healthier life, that they know about themselves more. When they make those comments, it's quite exciting to hear how this has made an impact and how that has changed their lives for the best. They're a better person, they're more sensitive to others, they eat better, their lifestyles are healthier. Yes. I think with some students, it's not so much a lifestyle change, but they know more about the topic. They know about their ancestors, about the medicine of the past. We're not trying to change people with this course. It's an information course, but in the process, it's changed some lives.
And then he would come inside the house and he would be as sweet as ever. What was he doing? Basically the same concept, getting rid of those problems and that anger. And that exercise that Rita did yesterday was excellent. It was yelling and getting rid of our anger at the center. Sometimes we don't have escapes. But people, through this medicine, have been able to find ways to get rid of some of the problems, some of the anger, some of the anxiety, some of the stress.
And we have the same requirements, and maybe even more, of any other course in the university.
Even in the modern herbalism, the way that we look at plants and the healing process is not just about the specific plant, but where that plant grows is very important. Not only from looking at the soil and the place where it grows, but also the energetics of that place. How we collect it is very important. How the plant grows is very important. So we have to know about plant biology. We have to know the life cycle of each plant, because that's very important to know when it grows, when it's the effective part, medicinal plant, is most active for our harvesting, how to harvest it so that it's sustainable, and a therapeutic aspect to it. So we get things as simple as touching the plant can be very healing. Breathing it, as you know, aromas have very powerful healing properties. Bathing with them, drinking them. And you can ingest them in many different ways. We have powders, we have the microdoses that Cheo was talking about, the tincture. We have oils, liniments, plasters, etc., etc.
Almost always years of internship. And especially if you're going to be doing the herbs, you have to you have to practice those a lot. You have to really know your plants. I haven't delved into the herb part very much. I usually just refer to someone else.
I was a part of the first group that went to Mexico. I was a part of the Fiesta de Salud that they had here. And so I feel like I'm a part of something bigger than me. And I like that feeling. Olive oil has a really strong aroma, but the plants usually do too. Because through the whole process, you're just showing your respect for the plants. So much is made to be so much harder than it really is. And everything is really easy. Life is really easy. And so, so I want to show people how they can get so much from something that's really easy and simple. And all you have to do is pay attention, like my grandmother used to say, pay attention and be respectful, because that's, and that's in life, it's not just with plants. So I come here to share who I am and what I do. I see different reactions, but mostly what I see is an interest. And in every class that I've ever done here, and this is probably my 6th, I always get calls afterwards of people that either want to study further or just want to ask me questions and they feel like I'm accessible. And that's what I want. I want them to feel like I'm accessible, because that means that they trust what it is that I'm telling them.
What do you think of this event happening here?
I think that this is fantastic. I think that the people are enjoying it because it's part of the cultura that is slowly dying. I'm glad to see it. It's alive and well. And this is, I'd like to really congratulate the promotores who brought it together. This is wonderful, wonderful, especially in these times of such grief and such terribleness is going on. We need this. We need the spirituality. We need these dances. We need these healers to come to us. And this is good. Yesterday and today is just amazing. Yeah, I love it.
And I'll be interrupted because Good morning, Cynthia.
I was like, no. One word. Okay, she has a word first.
Amor.
Amazing. Reconnecting.
It's an amazing experience. To bring about balance and restore balance and like sanación es muy importante, y para nuestros hijos, para dejar una planeta limpia, sana, es muy importante también para la madre.
It's important because being Hispanic, like been around, like heard of this, but not actually been exposed to it like this, hands-on. I mean, growing up, you could hear my abuelita, oh, you know, el mal de ojo, but just never actually know what it really was, and then seeing it, how it's been used and in practice is just amazing.
It's important to me because I feel like I'm connecting with my roots a lot more, because my mother is from El Paso and she has Mexican and Apache roots, and I just feel like I'm learning a lot about my family history through this class, and also that I can connect more with nature, you know, like I already love nature a lot, and this just makes it even better for me.
Very unique, not only cultura nuevo mexicana, but it's also a part of American culture.
Fantástico. Or maybe perfecto.
Lo que pasa es que esta clase no tiene que ver con la academia.
Well, what it is that this class does not have anything to do with academics.
Tiene que ver con la vida.
It has to do with life.
Omenteo quiere decir la unión de lo femenino con lo masculino.
Ometeo means the union of the feminine with the masculine.
Quiere decir la unión, la integración del odio con el amor.
Means it's the union and the integration of hatred and love.
La unión entre el día y la noche.
The union between day and night.
La unión entre el perdón y la venganza.
The union between forgiveness and vengeance.
La unión entre la vida y la muerte.
The union between life and death.
Nada está separado.
Nothing is separate.
Todo está integrado.
Everything is integrated.
My heritage goes back to Mexico City, Ortiz de Pino's side of my family. So there I got to study a little bit and got to continue studying here with certain curanderos and curanderas, And I think it's a wonderful class to get in touch with our roots, because if we lose who we are as a people, I think that's very sad. Education for learning why we do the things we do. And I'm very grateful for Sandrea, Cheo, for re-educating us for this tradition that's been lost for a lot of Latinos and even Native American people. So, which I'm a combination of Hispanic and Apache tradition. Those mean something. It's calling me to a healing, to my own personal healing from my past, and to make me sensitive to the spiritual realm. It gives us healing herbs, it says in the Psalms. And Francis of Assisi is one beautiful saint that was so in touch with nature and herbs too. San Martin de Porres is another one. He was like a curandero. He used to pray over people with herbs and biolocate to bring healing to people during the plague. So that prayer life is real important for me as a healer. It unites us with our traditions, our ancestors. We have, even in scriptures, it says that we have gifts that are passed on to the 50th generation.
I'd say compassionate. That's the word I'd use. I've seen so much compassion for each other and for respect, but compassion. And look how much it's improved everybody's health.
Creo yo que hay que empezarlo a transformar, and I believe that we need to begin to transform. Y esto nos dará una mayor comunicación y intercambio para seguir enriqueciendo a nuestras siguientes generaciones. And what I believe is, this conference would allow us to bring together those traditions, allow us to speak more and to share the medicine within each other and with different our communities that we've often been silenced. Si fuera una sola palabra, if it was completely just one word, yo diría que es lo más maravilloso que me pudo haber pasado en mi vida. I would have to say it's the most marvelous thing that has happened in my life. From a year ago to now, with the transformation of this class, I've actually lost 95 pounds. And I give blessings to this knowledge of medicine that is very different from traditional American medicine, is that that type of medicine doesn't treat the soul. And what I needed to heal first was my soul, for me to physically and mentally be healed.
Very important movement, very much alive and well in this country and in Mexico. Let me introduce to you and give the mic to Dr. Tony Salazar.
To be here with you this morning is a dream come true, actually. For the last 20 years or so, 20 years almost exactly, I've been engaged in various administrative positions trying to build a university, which is now about 17,000 students in Brownsville, Texas, called the University of Texas at Brownsville. But all that while, I continued to do it, as Joe was pointing out, Dr. Torres, my good friend, doing my work on folk medicine on the border. I want to share that with you.
I kept these memories for many, many, many years inside of me because it was a shame-based medicine. So it was kept inside of us. And many of us women here in New Mexico, when we saw this woman, there was this magnetism, there was this connection with her because she had the courage to talk about it.
I had already been doing a lot of lectures at universities and nursing schools and medical schools, but to actually have it as a class open to all kinds of students. The course itself has become very popular, but anthropology students, social work students, just a variety of students, because it's a summer course, and just ordinary folks that are interested in taking that course. So it enhances the need for curanderismo, and the enhances the medicine itself for it to continue. I think it brings respect to the medicine. I think that's important. Because I've been teaching curanderismo since the 80s, and I've seen the myths diminish, especially about curanderismo being witchcraft. Because curanderos are not witches, are not brujos.
And I was so excited about it that I started to talk about it in the hospitals where I worked, and I started to have in-services. No me bajaban de puta o bruja. That's how much they thought of me. Either I must have been a witch or a whore. That's what people thought of curanderismo.
So people are more aware that curanderos heal and it's spiritual, and they evoke God, and they don't cast spells or do any of this black magic stuff. So I believe that bringing curanderismo into the forefront and educating people has dispelled a lot of the myths.
So you gotta remember, I was born in 1944, before World War II ended. And there was a lot of racism then. So for me to take on this medicine, I look back and I'm going, how did that happen? Everything was geared for me to assimilate, to forget my culture, to forget my language. And this medicine, this superstitious, old-fashioned, outdated, dark voodoo medicine, it was out of the question. But you know, we go to the unknown for unknown reasons, and I truly believe that if I had not become a curandera, my soul would be so lost.
So this class has brought me to open my eyes to a lot of beautiful things that I haven't seen and haven't touched and smelled, and it's been wonderful. So on a personal level, I'm also here because I want to get in touch with things that have evaded me my whole life. And I'm very proud to be a Latino. I'm very proud to be from New Mexico, and this has only increased it incredibly. So
what's really important are people. And so I come here because the people that come here that teach us are fantastic people. I think it's the simplicity of love. The simplicity of love, because they give to each other and to us the community of New Mexico, and they do it graciously, humbly. They do not expect anything in return.
I didn't quite understand why I was being involved on some level, but I absolutely knew that it was something I had to do. And that began the process of looking into more of my ancestors and how they lived and how they healed themselves, and understanding cultural ways that I had been disconnected from for many years. And that also, of course, began with studying with Elena Avila about curanderismo. So this class was something I could understand how to do at the time, because I understood assimilation. I'd been assimilated since the 50s, and my mom and dad, like a lot of our parents, assimilated us so that we could belong to this community, so that we could be accepted, so that we could succeed. And that's, of course, when we lost our language, a lot of us too, because we started speaking English as the primary language. And so this class brought all of that back to me, reconnected me in this really strong way, and made me understand that the picture was bigger than I could even fathom. This journey that I was beginning with this class was huge, and I had no idea that it was going to take me in the directions that it took me, to little towns in the mountains of Mexico to study with wonderful curanderos elders of the communities and bring back that information, take groups of people from here, from that class at the University of New Mexico, that class that Dr. Torres had worked so hard to finally get assimilated into the university setting.
And we want to start by recognizing a person who has been a partner with this project since the very beginning. And this is a lady who will be leaving in December, our dear Andrea Gonzalez.
This has been a big gift in my life, to be a part of this class, to meet the people that I've met in this whole process, the healers, the disbelievers, the challenges that were there were always opportunities, of course, to become stronger, to understand myself more, to make me think of a different way to help people. It's been an important 10 years of my life, and it's made me really appreciate the places that I've come from, the people that I've come from, the struggles that my own family members have gone through in their lives. You have to be open to the teachings, and it's real important to go in with an open mind, willing to learn and not thinking you already know, or that you know within 2 weeks. I've been humbled so many times, I can't even tell you, and each one has been an incredible opportunity to learn. Saying, well, so you want to be a curandera, like some of us entered it just thinking what was going to happen. We take this class, we pass, we get a degree, we could be a curandera. Well, that's not true. Being a curandera, being a true curandero, is living life. Living life and really, really learning about yourself so that you can help others.
Huitzilopochtli le doy mis amores. Huitzilopochtli nakaye isoshi. Huitzilopochtli le doy 3 flores. Huitzilopochtli yo le doy mis flores. Huitzilopochtli le doy mis amores. Huitzilopochtli yo le doy mis flores. Huitzilopochtli le doy mis amores. Huitzilopochtli nakaome soshi. Huitzilopochtli le doy 2 flores. Huitzilopochtli yo le doy mis flores. Huitzilopochtli le doy mis amores. Huitzilopochtli yo le doy mis flores. Huitzilopochtli le doy mis amores. Huitzilopochtli nakase soshi. Huitzilopochtli le doy una flor.
The interest has been really great for me to see that there is more interest in curanderismo. That's very exciting for me because I've always wanted to keep curanderismo alive. And that's one of the reasons I took on students. I didn't want the medicine to die. I have grandchildren, I have children, but I never saw them be interested in taking up the work. So when I started to take on students, I mean, that was my main reason. I wanted the medicine to continue and to have a university course and to have a wider audience participate has been really, really heart-warming for me, you know, to see that.